talk about, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast, opening sets. But I mean, we got Lord JB and Atomic in the building. You guys have opened up for Noron Pure, Chuson's Biles, and many others. I want to know what goes into prepping for those shows and what's your guys' approach, not only as a group, but individually.
Yeah, I can say. I mean, I think obviously an opening set is a lot different than if you're playing prime time and everybody's hype and whatnot. So it's really trying to build. Yeah, exactly. It's really especially if you're opening for some big names, it's really trying to build the dance floor. Trying to build the vibe rather than coming out strong out of the gate. So maybe playing a little bit lower tempo to start, kind of trying to set the groove a little bit. I mean, people are kind of wandering in and out, trying to get them onto the dance floor, but not trying to overshadow whoever's playing before you. Obviously, you want to make kind of a splash, and you don't want to be something that's forgettable. But you still want to know your place when you're kind of doing an opening set and not get too crazy. I mean, obviously the number one rule is don't play anything by the artist you're before. So making sure you keep those songs off of your playlist. But again,
how's that work out if you do?
Yeah,
nothing happens.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I would say a lot of the opening sets is a lot of feeling out the vibe of the crowd too. I mean, some sets I'll plan, like I said, but for that, it's more kind of bring a bunch of songs and kind of feel out the vibe and make sure you're just kind of like bringing up the energy for whoever's next, whether you're like the opener or like right before the main artist. So I recently, when I opened up for Chris Lake, I was right before Fear and Low. Shout out to Fear and Low. But so I actually had messaged them beforehand and kind of try to figure out what they were going to play. So I was like, all right, are you guys going to play more deep house? Are you going to play more techie? Let me see what you're going to play so I can lead kind of into what you're going to play. So kind of knowing what's coming after you is a big help too. So
JB?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, Tom's right, man. Knowing your artists, right, that you're opening for, and knowing your crowd, right? I mean, some crowds think about our city, man. Columbus is very interesting, right? And I know we all know how to properly open. You build the room, nice and chill. Play some minimal. Do that. What did Mike say? Under 118? Is that what you're
Me?
or under something? I remember our clap tone opening like nothing more than under 120, JB. I'm like itching to go. But no, man. I think you got to know your room too, man. Which for me, Columbus is. You can open it, but I feel like you got to give them some splashes of something, right? I mean, you don't want to totally lose them, right? And I think about even when we're mixing in house in a city like Columbus, right? You got to mix in some bass highs and some progressive. You got to know what's going on with your crowd, man. And I think introing traditionally what you would expect in our city might be a little bit of a risk, right? Doesn't mean you blow it out to the top range. But you got to have those moments in there, right? I think about Nora and Pure. We talk a lot about that, right? We knew our artists very well, but we also knew, it isn't just flow all the way through. You have some moments, and maybe you build it, bring it back down, right? And so for me, it's just knowing your headliner, knowing your room and your people, and again, paying attention to what's going on in the room while you're playing, and just figuring it out from there. It's a lot going on. An intro set is a craft to me, man. This is not something you just go do blindly.
I want to give my thoughts because I want to leave it to James at the end because he's probably got the most experience out of all of us with this as far as opening. Definitely does, not even probably. I think it's all about setting up your headliner or the person after you to do a good job, and that can look a number of different ways. It's very subjective, but I think some general things is some general tips. Have a handoff track folder. So especially for, if you're doing like house or EDM, I think there are great songs that maybe they don't go up or down too much. They're kind of flat. You can mix anything into them. Having like a song like that to kind of lead into the next person, I think really helps. JB, you mentioned, build the room, make sure you have energy in the room, but maybe that last 10 minutes of your set, bring it down a little bit so the headliner has room to breathe. Give them room to breathe on the volume knob as well. I know, the old red line and headline and blah, blah, blah. But that does make a difference that when, that person for an EDM show, they throw on their cryo intro drop or whatever it is, to have that be even the tiniest bit louder does add a ton of experience to the show. And then just, if you can, ask your headliner how they want to do it. 99% of the time, I think, James, they'll say, just do you, man. But just to show a little bit of respect as to, at least you're trying to give them the best possible opportunity. I wouldn't say go in there and just play chill stuff, because in Columbus, people are going to get bored and they could leave, and then the headliner doesn't have a crowd. So just set up, no matter what you're doing, think about, am I setting up the person next to me to do a good job? James, what do you think?
Let me hop in quick, just to piggyback on your setup track. The other thing, I think, if they're mixing into you, make sure you give them a long track before, and don't play like a 3-minute track right before they come up and have them scrambling to mix in. That's another big thing.
James?
Yeah, I'm going to give my side, but then afterwards I want to give B-Funk's answer about what we were talking about earlier with the whole opinions on social media. But so there are, like JB said, we're in Columbus, so you do have to throw an entertaining set. And also, we're all if you're any kind of DJ that is trying to, do this seriously, you have to have those wow moments in your set no matter what. Otherwise, you're boring and you're just playing conservative just to get through your set. So you could, like you said, you can bring it up and then bring it back down. I still think that's a proper set. You usually in the advance, it'll tell you if there's, and you need to get the advance from whoever booked you, or, it comes right to me and I would let you guys know if there was something, and then so if they want like a certain BPM, or they don't want a certain genre, or they give you a no playlist of certain tracks, that's all a proper way of doing it. But also every show is different. Trance guys don't even want you playing anything on that label. And then certain things like that. And then leaving them on a certain side of the CDJ, making sure you're plugging in right CD on the outside CDJs. There's just a lot that goes into it. But then, pleasing the person that booked you. But there's a way to do it all that it sounds more overwhelming than it is, because you have a full hour at least, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go and do your thing, and then the last 15, 20 minutes, it doesn't even have to be boring, but it can just be more critiqued to set up that opener. And then that way, you'd be surprised how many national DJs talk and will remember you as an opener. And maybe you play something, maybe you play an original or something like that goes into their set, and you guys can talk about that. There's a lot of different things that go into it, but you guys definitely crushed that Nora set, because you were able to bring it up to an energy that people were bottles were going all over the place. Everybody felt the properness of the set, but then right when she was about to go on, and she was back there jamming, and she everything was comfortable. Yeah. So, that's how it has to be done. And it's harder than people think, but at the same time, like preparation and just knowing all this stuff. I mean, I've been fortunate to do hundreds of shows, so it's like, it's nothing, but I like talking about it because I've seen everything go wrong and I've seen everything go right.
Yeah, to your point of preparation was huge. I mean, we did a decent amount of prep before that Nora set, and we kind of like prepped our first 15 minutes how we wanted to like intro stuff, and then we were like, all right, in the middle we can kind of do whatever we want to do, play some tech house, but then the last 15 minutes let's bring it down and set it up for her. So I think that point of like making sure that last 15 minutes, that last 10 minutes leading in is kind of prepped for how the next artist wants to play, but still having that ability to do you during kind of that middle area is huge.
Yeah, and you can see the crowd. I mean, I vividly, I can still have pictures of the crowd right in front of us. Those last 15 minutes where we kind of peaked out and they were partying, but and of course they knew Nora and they knew what they expect. But even in that expectation of Nora, you can just see the eyes and the mouth just salivating for Nora, you know, and the screams that she started out in a very low kind of chill vibe. That was so dope. So dope.
But that's her telling her story of her set.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You didn't have to go that low at the end. You just had to not be crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Let's do this, guys. Let's start to wrap up here. Where can people find you on the internet? And are you guys playing any shows coming up?
Yeah, man. For me, www.lordjayb.com. That's where it all is. Socials at lordjb.com. And working on this next live stream. You'll see it popping up here in the next few days for the 22nd weekend. So getting back to live streaming. Looking forward to live streaming with my homeboys on this podcast soon.
That needs to happen for sure.
Yeah.
I followed you on Twitch. Did you follow me back, JB?
I will.
Let me back. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, you can find me like all socials. I think is DJ_Atomic, ATOMC, no I on that. Mainly Instagram's where I'm at. I don't really do anything on Twitter. I got a Facebook page too. You can find me at Atomic on Facebook. No real live shows, but I might hop on this live stream that JB's setting up.
That's
so
right.
Might have a little fun on that next weekend. So keep an eye out for that.
And hopefully you guys will be doing that tailgate thing too.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for social media for 614 Gate is at 614 Gate on Instagram, and then we have a 614 Gate Facebook page where we put all our events. So go follow that. Hopefully we'll be having some house parties for some like classic OSU games.
Yeah, check out at Wiretap Music as well on IG.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted there. Big ups to you guys, and also big ups to 614, some of the best apparel to kind of have the Columbus brand on it. And they kind of help us with this segment. We just talk about stuff that's come out in the city. So we had Buns 2020 by Stevie D, a mixtape. He released that last week. Stevie D's been on the podcast before, a good friend of ours. And it was a solid mix. It definitely was like a really nice festival demo. So if you guys are, looking to get in the EDM festival sets, I think it's a great listen to kind of see how he goes in and out of like the throwbacks and then the new stuff and incorporating like the new drops. Really well done. And then Corrupt, you put out Lost in the Sauce with Chisel, who I've been following for a long time. Miami guy, really, really, really just cool dude, great DJ. And I actually enjoyed the first half with you better. I know there's some couple ones I Shazammed off that. And Chisel put together like a really nice, a very like girl-friendly set is what I would call it. You want to add anything to that?
Well, I would say that his set is definitely like a Miami club style set. Like a lot of those older electronic tracks, like his Lana Del Rey and stuff like that, that still goes off down there. Mm-hmm. They really do like, you could still play a Swedish House Mafia song and an open format set down there, which is why I think Miami's open format scene is just incredible, because you can go from house to Latin, mm-hmm. to big room EDM to hip hop, and just keep going all forward. Like it's very well.
And then you got to throw in some Miami booty bass for sure.
Leave it up to Mike.
Hey, it is what it is, man. Shout out Uncle Luke.
And 11.
We appreciate you guys.
Shout out 11 for sure. Shout out 11.
11 yeah. Bro, you know what? 11.
Uh-oh.
Did they put the men's bathroom right where all the girls' server station is for a reason? You ever notice that? So. Like when you go to the bathroom, you got all 10 girls standing right there.
So I heard about that when you come out of there.
I don't
like, honey, you want to take
allegedly.
Any night that I've been at 11, I don't remember a single thing. I get there. I had a good time. I always leave going, it was a good time. But
that rooftop that we went to a couple years ago, the rooftop. Oh my God, it was so good. The Resistance rooftop up there. Whew.
Mm-hmm. Good times.
This is also a good time to remind everyone, never pay for a girl's ultra ticket. Just want to throw that out.
Columbus DJ Podcast.
Yeah, all
Did you write that one off too?
Did I?
Where are we going with this?
Probably.
Hey, nothing wrong with being nice.
Yeah, right. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video if you laughed, if you learned something, or just if you like all of us hanging out together. Subscribe for more DJ discussions as well as tutorials, and then comment down below anything you really want. Ask questions, tell us who we should have on the show, and give us tips to improving ourselves. And James, take us out.
What episode is this?
19.
All right, guys. Columbus DJ Podcast, episode 19, Wiretap. JB Atomic, we really appreciate it, man. We've been really enjoying it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem, man. House music lives on in Columbus. Hopefully, we'll be back soon, man. Thank you, guys.
Keep it loose and tipsy, everybody.
Thank you, brothers.
Loose and tipsy.
Guys, man.
Peace.